Hello and welcome to What About You? Right, I forgot to set the timer, so I'm going to set it right quick. If I can find the right clock. There we go. Sorry about that. Anyways, welcome to What About You? I am Samantha and I have an interesting topic to talk about today. It's about you. It's about our children. It's about how we interact with other people, how our children are brought up, interacting with other people. And this is a very fascinating topic for me because I see and I listen to people a lot at work, out and about. I like to watch people, how they communicate, how they interact with the children, and sometimes it scares me, to tell you the truth, because I sometimes think, why do you have children? And of course we all can have bad days. I'm not saying that we can't, but I'm saying we need to be more patient. We need to have more patience with our children, because they are children and they're learning. They are learning all the time, and if we don't show them patience, if we don't teach them things, then how are they going to learn? They see how we act and they copy that. They're like little monkeys. They will copy us. And this is something I've been thinking about a lot, and it gets to me. Okay, I must admit that it gets to me when I see parents getting upset with their children because they're crying, or there are always ways of handling children, and by being angry with them, it's not a good way. But I understand that you can get frustrated with your children. I mean, I am not, I have been with my children also. But I think we need to be more aware of our own, the way we are, basically, how we act and what we say and what we do, because there was this man, right, and he was walking with his daughter, and he said to her, oh yeah, we're going to the hairdressers to make you beautiful. And people might not respond to that. They might not think something odd with that, but I just felt straight away like, more, beautiful. I'm sorry, isn't she beautiful already? I would have said it in a different way, that it's a fun thing, or more beautiful, I don't know, but it just came out really, for me, it just came out that the girl wasn't beautiful as she was. And I think it's very important to remember how we talk to children, and think about how we talk to our children, because we are putting things in their head a lot. And I'm not surprised that kids are the way they are because we let them. I mean, parents have the overall responsibility of the children, yes? So the way I bring my children up will reflect on me, basically. If I let my children do whatever they want, they might not be able to handle that. I believe the children need structure, and they need limits, and not be able to, they need to be able to handle when somebody says, no, I'm sorry, I can't do that for you, or no, you can't have that. But I feel that more and more kids get what they want. And if they don't get it, they will scream, kick, shout, until they get it. You might say, no, when your child is bugging you for something. Mum, can I, why not? And then eventually you crack and you go, oh yeah, for God's sake, just go watch a movie. Or yes, you can take the iPad. I understand that people do that parents do that because they're busy with something else. But at the same time, I can't understand that, because what is more important than teaching your child to be consistent in something? If you said no, it's no. And if you've explained it to your child, no, because, then that should be it. Okay? And if you bring your children up, if you raise your children in that way, then it's not going to be so difficult for them. But if you're always, if you're one day saying yes, and the next day you're saying no, that can be kind of difficult. And I also believe that kids need to earn certain things. Let's take the internet. I mean, that's something that's taken for granted, right? All teenagers or even younger. I mean, it's creeping down at the age now, but they expect to have internet. They don't know. Maybe they don't know who's paying for it, how it works. Then maybe they don't understand that an iPhone actually costs, an iPad costs, a computer costs, and who's paying for all this? It's not them, because they're not earning any money. And the money, if you're a certain age, maybe you get your own money in pocket, a monthly allowance. But maybe also they need to understand that allowance is supposed to go towards something. You need to pay for your own phone, maybe, or it's something. They gotta learn that everything is not for free, because I think nowadays they do believe everything is free. I mean, they get like a cards, bank cards, and they put it in the hole in the wall, and there's money. That's what they think, and it cracks me up, because you're not teaching your children how it really works. The money is connected to an account, and this is your account, but there is no money, so you can't put that card and get money out. And I think we're setting our children up for failure in the long run, because we're not teaching them how it works. I mean, we're just giving them. I mean, if they want extra money, I've out of my allowance and I need a new top. Yeah, well, there you go. And it's not like you give and take. It's not like, this is a loan, you have to pay me back. It's like, yeah, here you go. They're not being taught that amount of money that they get each month is, when that money's gone, there's no more money. They're not learning how to save. Also, they just get. Okay, because everything costs. There's nothing, you don't get anything for free. Not material things I'm talking about. I'm not talking about love, because that's free, but I'm talking about material things that the kids nowadays expect. And in my opinion, for me, that's a luxury to have internet, because there's so many other things they can do. Why would they have to sit on an iPad or on their phone until they, from the time that they finish school and they come home, they're on the internet? I think that's really bad for them, both because I think that, I don't know the word for it exactly, but the iPhone and the iPad, apparently, if you got allergy, I'd say, for against electricity. There are people who can't stand electricity. They live in places where there's no electricity, right? And the iPad is actually the worst thing that you can have, because it affects you. I don't know the word for it. I'm hoping you understand what I mean. But it's affecting you, and I believe it's affecting our brain also. So in the long run, it's not going to do us any good. We're going to have more problems with our health, a lot more than we have now. And now it's really bad, I believe. But we're going to get more. It's going to get worse, basically. So by giving our children more and more things, material things, we're not teaching them anything. Because look at Facebook, for example. Kids very, very young age have Facebook, and I don't like that. I truly do not like that. One reason is that we're not teaching our children to communicate, and communication is the source of everything, of solving everything, and love, of course, but communication is like very, very, very important to have and to be able to do. And if you can't communicate, then how can you actually talk to someone? How can you make your point, or how can you understand somebody else's? If you don't have that, it's going to be very difficult in your life, and your children are not going to be able to work with co-workers, for example. There's going to be a lot of problems, I believe. So what I would like for parents to do is to be more aware of how they talk to the children, and what they show them, basically, and in how a good person interacts with another person. So by having internet, by having an iPhone, iPad and computer with no limits, there's no rules for it, and they can have it from 3 o'clock until they go to bed, it's not a good thing, because they're not being stimulated in the right way, I believe. And so they're not learning. Also, if you have Facebook, for example, and you have a friend that is, saying something that you don't like and you can't handle it as a child, then you just click and block, and you don't have to deal with it. Now, what does that teach your children? I mean, the empathy level for that child is just destroyed. And I think that it's getting more and more to that point where we are not caring for other people. We are very selfish. We don't communicate with our children. We sit in a cafe and we're on our phone. That's all we're doing. We don't interact with our kids, and that scares me to see. And I believe that is going to get worse. It's not getting better. So what I would like for you to do as a parent, think about what kind of, when you come home from work, what do you normally do? What's the standard routine in your family? Do you make dinner while the kids are on their iPhone or whatever? Or they help you cook dinner, maybe? Or do they help out with other things? Or do they just do their own things and run around? Or do they, do they play? How do they play? How do they communicate? What do they do? And also, how would you want them to interact with others? How would you want them to interact with you? It's not that complicated, I believe. It's just changing a pattern that we are used to, and that is difficult, I tell you, to change something in yourself. And also, when a child is used to something, to change that for that child, that could be hard work, because you might have to fight that child for it, but it's worth it. It's worth giving your children the opportunity to grow as an individual, because we all want to be individuals. I don't want my children to look like somebody else. I saw before, a few weeks ago, I was in town and I saw these 3 girls walking. They all had dark hair, all had them in a ponytail like this, and they all wear the same clothes. I'm not saying exactly the same, but the same style, and they look the same. And I'm like, God, I cringe, because you want to be an individual, okay? I want people to stand out, and people stand out. I love that. I love when people dress. I might not like what you're wearing, but you are not looking like everybody, like you're not following fashion. And I love that. And I want to give my children that, and I'm hoping you want to give your children that. So that's something to think about. I'm just making this a 15-minute video, and I'm hoping that you will think about the things that I have said about having some boundaries, okay? And thinking about where you want your children to be in life and how you want them to be, and also the danger of having the internet or the, you know, the I don't know what you call them, but it happens, something happens to your brain anyway. I'll think of the word one day. Okay, so I'm gonna stop here, and I'm hoping that you will comment or ask a question, and I'll be very happy if I get. So maybe you will ask me my first question. That will be fun, hey? Yay! Okay, well, look after your children and don't give in to everything that they want. Stand up for yourself. Give your children the opportunity to grow, and give them love, lots of love, and your time. Okay, so until next time, thank you for watching. I appreciate it, and hej då.